All right, today we are diving into a really critical battle, one that's being fought right now, inside the minds of pretty much every future lawyer. It's the persuasive, ever-present voice of AI versus the independent, critical mind of a professional. Let's get into it.
So, our story starts in a place you might not expect, Afghanistan, in the year 2025. Imagine this, for 2 whole days, the internet just vanishes. What happens? Well, society doesn't just, roll back the clock. It breaks. Phones, payments, flights, everything grinds to a halt. And this illustrates a massive point. When something becomes infrastructure, you can't just decide not to use it.
And that right there is exactly what's happening with AI. The whole conversation about whether we should use it, it's pretty much over. Just like the internet, AI is becoming the new plumbing, the new electricity. It's the infrastructure of our world now. So the real question, the only question that matters, is how we adapt, especially in a field like law that is literally built on language and judgment.
Yeah, this shift from just another tool to essential infrastructure, it has some pretty profound consequences. We're not just talking about a new app on your computer. This is a fundamental change to the entire environment where new lawyers are being trained.
So let's just get straight to the point. Future lawyers will hear the machine. There's no escaping it. It's going to be everywhere, drafting, summarizing, suggesting. The real challenge for every single aspiring solicitor is this. When that machine is talking to you all day, how do you hold on to the ability to think for yourself, to think beyond it?
Now, to really understand this challenge, we have to meet let's call it the antagonist of our story. It's a concept that perfectly captures just how tempting this new environment can be. The AI-Ready Solicitor. Okay, so this isn't a person, obviously. It's not a new job title. It's a metaphor for a condition. Think of it as this synthetic legal voice that's always on, whispering in your ear through your apps and search engines. It's not a tool you pick up and put down like a hammer. It's more like a radio station that's broadcasting plausible-sounding legal talk 24/7.
And that word, radio, is so important here. Because think about it, it's just in the air, it's ambient, it's always there in the background, ready to jump in and fill any moment of silence, any flicker of doubt, with a confident-sounding answer. It creates this whole atmosphere where its slick, easy fluency can start to feel like a pretty good substitute for your own slower, harder, more careful thinking.
And this gets to the real danger. Seriously. The problem isn't just that the AI might spit out a wrong answer. The deeper risk, the one that sneaks up on you, is that it sounds right so often and so smoothly that it slowly, quietly weakens the very mental muscles you need to build real professional judgment. Which brings us to what is, without a doubt, the absolute core of this whole thing. We have to draw a big, bright, unmissable line between what a machine can generate and what a lawyer must develop.
Just look at this breakdown. On one side, you have the machine's answer. It's fast, it's polished, it sounds incredibly persuasive. It can produce perfect-looking legal sentences all day long. But then, on the other side, you have actual legal judgment. And judgment isn't about writing pretty sentences. It's about deciding what actually matters, spotting what isn't being said, weighing the risks, and, here's the big one, taking responsibility for what you advise next.
Let that one sink in for a second. A machine can give you fluency whenever you want it. But your real value, your professional judgment, that only kicks in at the exact moment where that easy, machine-made fluency stops.
So, if the AI-Ready Solicitor is the problem, the seductive voice in our ear, what's the solution? Well, let's meet the hero of our story, the AI-Ready Solicitor. This is the goal. This is what we should all be aiming to become.
Now, an AI-Ready Solicitor isn't just somebody who's good at prompting the latest app. No, it's a professional who can operate in this new, saturated world without giving up the things that make them a professional in the first place, their own thoughts, their own judgment, and their own responsibility. AI readiness isn't about being a tech geek. It's about disciplined intellectual command.
So how do you become one? Well, it really boils down to these 4 pillars. First, judgment. That's knowing the difference between an answer that sounds good and an answer that is good. Second, AI literacy, which is really about understanding what these tools can't do, not just what they can. Third, cognitive self-management. This is about knowing yourself well enough to feel that precise moment when helpful support starts to tip over into lazy substitution. And finally, accountability. You, the human, are always responsible for the final product. Full stop.
Okay, so that's the what. But what about the how? How do you actually do this?
How do you build those cognitive muscles in a world full of easy answers? Well, it takes a complete reframing of how you use AI. And that brings us to the most practical idea of all.
This right here is probably the most important mindset shift you can make. Stop thinking of AI as an answer machine. Start thinking of it as a gym, a training ground. The best possible use for it is as your personal sparring partner, something you use to make yourself stronger, sharper, and smarter, not something that does the heavy lifting for you.
Think about it like this. Use AI as a discipline coach that pushes you to be more rigorous, not a ghostwriter that does your work. Use it as a mirror that reflects your own thinking back at you so you can find the flaws, not as a mind to replace your own. It's a flight simulator, not the actual pilot. It's an intelligent opponent to sharpen your arguments against, not an oracle that hands you down the truth. And look, this isn't just some clever idea from a book. This whole sparring partner model lines up perfectly with what the legal profession itself is demanding. Regulators, professional bodies, the courts, they're all saying the exact same thing. The human lawyer has to stay accountable, has to verify the work, and has to own the final judgment. AI is a tool, never a shield.
So, this is where we land. We all know you're going to use AI. That's a given. So the only real question left is a personal one. What habits are you going to form while you do it? Are you building habits of dependency, of outsourcing your thinking? Or are you building habits of discipline, verification, and command?
And that's really the challenge for every single one of us in this new world. The goal isn't to avoid AI. It's to learn how to work with it without letting its easy, fluent authority take over that crucial space inside your head where your own legal judgment needs to grow. That is the difference between being replaced by a machine and being sharpened by it. And mastering this is just step one. The next frontier is taking this disciplined mindset and applying it to high-stakes litigation strategy and everyday professional practice. Thanks for tuning in.